Global.
Yes, it's another beautiful day here in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. We're reaching you live from our SIO TV studio here in Abuja. It is Wakeup Nigeria, and this is Princess KESSY. How with me here?
Patience OKOSUN.
How was your night, Patience? You
It's
very
fine.
beautiful this morning.
I
I didn't sleep well, so it's already telling on me.
What happened?
I barely slept for hours. I was busy, and then look at us today. We're here and all lazy, all sleepy, all tired.
People just actually come back from their Easter break. Funny enough, we work with the media, there's no break for us.
No break is existing. And then you don't sleep well as well, and so it's so tiring. We have a lot of trading issue this morning. The president is on vacation, and of course, a lady that was killed some days ago, someone has been arrested as to that report. And then we also have people jubilating that the Easter was quite fun. As regarding to the cash crunch and all that, we're happy that they were able to see have access to cash during the Easter celebration. That's a good one. We move quickly this morning to the news paper reviews, and I'm going to kickstart with the Nation newspaper. These are some of the stories we have making waves this morning. APC, INEC to Court Tribunal, abuse petition a waste of time, and the writer says LP's candidate was PDP member when he picked ticket. Election conducted in compliance with the Electoral Act. Agency insists. Now all the stories are on page 4 of the Nation newspaper. Of course, we have a story here as well. They say adopted Nasarawa deputy governor freed. That story is on page 1 of the Nation newspaper. As well, we have a story here that says Buhari off to Saudi Arabia. That story is on page 2 of the Nation newspaper. As well, there is a story here that says the Bola Ajibola I knew by Affair Babalola. That story is on page 6 of the Nation newspaper. As well, we have a story here that says cash flow from banks still low. Says NLC, Congress awaits reports. This story is on page 7 of the Nation newspaper. We also have a story here that says pre-poll how Tinubu scaled 18 landmines in courts. This story is on page 15 and 17 of the Nation newspaper. NMA 6 better environment for doctors and others to operate. That story is on page 5 of the Nation newspaper. As well, we have a story here that says suspected Yoruba lynched in Ondo for crushing two to death. That story is on page 1 of the Nation newspaper. As well, we have a story here that says governor-elect rejects pension plan by incumbents. House not aware of B. That story is on page 4 of the Nation newspaper. Also have a story here that says National Assembly, APC governor 6 urgent action on zoning. Headlines positions by aspirants worry. National Working Committee. Now these are all the stories we had this morning making waves on the Nation. And I have a story here that caught my attention. A story here that says the cash flow from banks still low. And we know that NLC over the 1 week now have been monitoring this one seriously because they had a dialogue with CBN and of course the Supreme Court as well. And so they said they promised to monitor, to send their agents across states, across banks to monitor the cash flow. And the report we're seeing this morning is that the cash flow is still low, but people do have cash. It's better so much. It's better than before,
but not that much.
Okay, what are the charges?
The charges, it's still not the same charges as it used to be anyway.
Okay. But thank God people are becoming to access cash.
At least you work to 1 to 3 periods, you at least get cash.
There's cash. That's good news. And then there's a story here also that says NMA 6 better environment for doctors, orders to operate. Now I'm saying that in as much as we are calling on the doctors to stay back in the country to better our own nation, I'm saying as well government should do what they're supposed to do for people. Things that will make these people want to stay back. And not just doctors and others, but every other sector, every other.
I even personally feel that bill is tampering with their human rights, freedom of movement.
Yes, they are supposed to do whatever they wish to do.
Yes.
And don't forget also that we're still saying it's not basically about medical, the health sector alone, but every other sector need a very good environment to work, to operate. And I will move on quickly to the next newspaper.
The Guardian newspaper this morning, the major news here says Nigeria industrial base weaker over poor credit support from banks. You find that story on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. We also have a story here that says Buhari undertakes last official trip to Saudi Arabia, salutes Dangote at 66. We also have a story here that says at 95, struggle continue for a better Nigeria, says Adebanjo. You find that story on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. We also have a story here that says World Bank sees 2% output growth in 2023. You find that story on page 15 of the Guardian newspaper. And then we have a story also that says at 80, Biden considers re-election in 2024. You find that story on page 2 of the Guardian newspaper. And so the final story here says private school operators and burden of multiple charges. You find that story on page 4 of the Guardian newspaper. Those are the news making waves this morning. Princess at 80, Biden wants to
I think it's very hard to say old people are coming out. You are too old. You cannot. Well, yes, I'm even surprised. But the good thing here is that it's not basically the age, but we had youths over time that have been also appointed, and we've seen their lifestyle that is nothing to write home about.
Yeah.
So it's not basically the age, but what the person is bringing, yes, on the table, what they can offer, and not just having their interest or their personal interest or that of people around them, but the interest of the nation at heart is what matters, not the age. And then those private school operators, I want to really talk about that. I think this private school issue, we are having a serious problem here in the country. I don't know what's happening with the public institute schools around. Most of them are just nothing is working where you go to some of the classrooms, they don't have seats. The people sit on the floor. What do you expect? You don't want to take your child there. And then most of just private schools, they are expecting people. The other day you were here, I was calling, I was asking so much questions because of my kid's sister. They are extorting people. I was telling the teacher that yes, that's what people are doing, you extort people, and they say the school is a Christian school. But one of these Christian schools, they're even worse because people come and pay their tithe to the pastors and they're not able to their children because the school fees is way overbearing. This is something the government needs to work on. The educational system needs to start working to see that most of these schools overhauled totally, to see that they start working properly again. Look at those who went to those schools and then they were really of standard. But I don't know what's the story with them these days. You go to schools, no seats, no doors. The whole place is dirty and kept. It's really shame on the country. And then I move on quickly this morning to the next newspaper we have, which is the Punch newspaper. And these are some of the stories that are making news this morning. APC kicks as northern senators insist on Senate presidency, and the rider says in Dume, Kanu, Niger senators poised to contest, says Senate needs competent hands. Any Muslim aspiring to be Senate president lacks respect for Constitution, Vice Chair. And the last rider says APC yet to decide on zoning but won't allow another Saraki Dogara scenario, says spokesman. And all the stories on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. We also have a story here that says Buhari should suspend fuel subsidy removal, declare marketers, on page 19 of the Punch newspaper. As well, we have a story here that says UK restriction can't stop doctors' immigration, NMA and NAD. That story is on page 8 of the Punch newspaper. We also have a story here that says port reconstruction will cost $800 million, says NPA boss. That story is on page 10 of the Punch newspaper. There's a story here as well that says Easter, Lagos FCT residents celebrate, grateful for surviving cash crunch. That story is on page 27 of the Punch newspaper. We also have a story here that says police arrest suspects in Instagram clothes vendors' deaths. That story is on page 4 and 5 of the Punch newspaper. We also have a story here that says that Nigerian unemployment rate to hit 41% in 2023. That is coming from KPMG on page 10 of the Punch newspaper. Now, these are some of the stories we have this morning coming from Punch. The story here, patiently says Nigerian employment rates to hit 41% is really a shame.
It's actually a shame.
I think as it stands, yes, you have to start doing something on your own.
Every year, if you know the amount of people that are coming out of school, that are graduating, you are just my advice to every youth out there is they should venture into entrepreneurship because that's the way forward now.
You can do it on your own. Learn a skill, do something that tomorrow somebody will need your help and you will have to pay for that service. You don't have to be waiting all day, all year for one white collar job or somebody to pay you. Try and come up, think outside the box and do something because as it stands, the government is not even looking at most of these people graduating or the ones they have on the street already. So you have to be useful. We move on quickly now to the next newspaper.
Coming from the Daily Trust this morning, the major news here says consumers groan over epileptic power supply. And then the rider will say situation worsening heat access to water amid Ramadan. Muslim cleric faithful accused discos of sabotage. And then we also have electricity companies blame low allocation from national grid. You find that story on page 4 of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. We also have arrest of Kano singers escorts, police commercialization responsible for abuse. We also have a story here that says $22 million Calabar channel ranging Intel's contract cost my job. Says Hadiza Bala. And then we also have a story here that says World Bank to advocate debt restructuring for developing countries. We also have a story here that says resident doctors reject bill mandating 5 years service for doctors. You find that story on the front page of Daily Trust newspaper. And so we also have a story here that says how to secure your bank account from fraudsters. You find that story on page 28 of Daily Trust newspaper. We also have a story that says Buhari embarks on 8 days visit to Saudi Arabia today. And so finally on the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, we have a story that says bear attacks as sacrifice for new Nigeria will be their supporters. You find that story on page 10 of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. Those are the stories making waves this morning. So please, is this story about arrest of Kano singers escorts? I feel like private individuals just go get police for themselves and they're abusing that thing a lot. You find out that almost 10 vehicles, 8 vehicles are escorting a private person in the village, and it's causing a lot in the commission on the street everywhere. And then I saw a story here I really want us to talk on. World Bank to advocate debt restructuring for developing countries, of course, including our country. Yes. I think they need to do that. The rate at which some of these developing countries are borrowing, taking money, loans here and there. I think I read the amount Nigeria is paying the debt right now. Well, they need to really restructure it seriously.
It doesn't tell well as a nation. We keep borrowing and then the people are still dying, economic meltdown, nothing is working in the country. And so when they do with this money they borrow? I don't get it. These are the questions we're asking today. And then these I think the major electricity companies also should also do well this period. The heat is falling on everyone, and this time people need water, need lots really light. So please, I did that show some days ago as well, where we had a lot of people call in telling us, giving us reaction from their different locations. please, the electricity company need to do more as well to make sure that this power supply, if not even 100%, at least 70-80% is fair enough. As well, there's a story here that say how to secure your bank account from fraudsters. That's a good one. You need to see, not maybe you just want to see that the details of that story to know what to do as well to secure your account. We move on quickly to the next newspaper we have this morning, which is the Blueprint newspaper, and these are some of the stories that are making waves. We have like presidential revision, ethnicity threatens tent mass leadership, and the writer says Muslim aspiring for Senate presidency insensitive to national unity. APC working committee members. Izanusa makes case for Southeast supporters back Sadosili for speaker. And we have another writer here that says APC groups back Barry East, says opposition plotting Northwest take over. All these stories on page 6 of the Blueprint newspaper. We also have a story here that says a clerk Affair Babalola not Obi should be questioned over interim government, and that story is on page 6 of the Blueprint newspaper. We also have a story here that says police kill kidnapper at ransom delivering points, rescue victims in Adamawa. That story is on page 5 of the Blueprint newspaper. Ex-Nasarawa Deputy Governor Gay Wado freed after payment of 4 million naira. That story is on page 5 as well. We have another story here that says government adopt Anambra Bisman, demand 15 million naira. That story is as well on page 5 of the Blueprint newspaper. And then we have a story here that says federal government for taking nations' internal squabbles to U.S. Effort to market obedience movements will fail. This is coming from a bill this morning, and that story is on page 14 of the Blueprint newspaper. We also have a story here that says one of the arms seekers going under harsh condition in Kano. That story is on page 16 of the Blueprint newspaper, beg your pardon. And then we have a story here that says loan apps to lose access to customers' contacts and photos. That story is on page 23 of the Blueprint newspaper. We have a story here that says Buhari begins 8-day visit to Saudi Arabia on page 5 of the Blueprint newspaper. And the last story here says 3 crushed to death, skulls injured in Odo onto crash on page 15 of the Blueprint newspaper. A story here also that says UK restrained recruitment of health workers from Nigerians. Others, aging port post threats to national revenue, NPA warns. Now these are all the stories we have making waves in the Blueprint newspaper this morning. I saw a story here also that caught my attention, and this morning police kill kidnapper at ransom delivering point, rescues victim. Kudos to the police for that. At least they did very well there. And also I saw a story here that said loan apps to lose access to customers' contact are very important. The way they're abusing these people, their contact, the people, yes, it's wrong. It's wrong. These are some of their private personal stuff. They should not be tampered with. And then we have another story here as well that says UK restrains recruitment of health workers from Nigeria. This restriction is on Nigeria and I bet some other countries. I think the rate at which Nigeria are doing we are now in their red alerts. So, of course, everybody is just living. People just want to live and have taste that, just taste a little bit of fresh air. You see, it's because if you have a good country, people be running away. People will not run away. It's because the thing is that when the pressure in your own country, there's no fresh air, there is nothing is working. What do you expect? These are some of the things to expect. Anyways, viewers, don't go anywhere. We'll go on a quick break, and when we return, we'll continue with the newspaper reviews. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
RTV London, in partnership with NTA TV Enterprise, present the maiden edition of the Nigerian Week in the capital of the world, London. A wonderful blend of entertainment, business, and networking, displaying a wide range of arts, national cash crops, financial products and services, and real estate. For huge extra opportunity in diaspora, look no further. The 36 states of the Federation, the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture, Trade and Investment, the Nigerian Film Corporation, and host of others will be in attendance. Date 15th to 21st of May 2023. Venue Lighthouse, Camberwell, Southeast London. For details, log on www.superiorradiotelevision.com/Nigerian Week or call +447 549 513 619 or +234 814 358 285.
Ladies, are you ready to shine? Here's a golden opportunity for you to show the world the queen in you, as the second edition of Face of SRTV Ladies Edition is about to begin. What are you waiting for? Register online with just 500 naira and stand a chance of winning a cash prize of 100,000 naira and the deal of becoming our ambassador. There will also be consolation prizes for second and third place winners. To register, kindly.
Welcome back, viewers. This is Wakeup Nigeria, and I'm still in the newspaper reviews this morning. And so, from the this day newspaper this morning, the major news here says, with 50 days to go, Buhari defends choice of service chiefs. And then the writer says, knocks Cooper again, insists clearly cooks only bad news. And then we also have wanting killings remain Buhari lowest point, state Additional. And then we also have his helmet was a setback, presidency admits. We find that story on the front page of this day newspaper. And so we also have a story here that says, Obi mission to rescue Nigeria will come to fruition. And so Clark, Lai Mohammed's trip, US trip, increasing political tension. We also have a story here that says INEC replies APP says electronic collation of results not mandatory. You find that story on page 8 of this day newspaper. We also have a story here that says Tinubu Obi eloquize and Afenife leader Ayo Adebanjo at 95. The writer here says he's been consistent in fights for social justice, says President-elect. And then he also said he has no bone of bigotry in him. LP presidential candidate attests. And so we also have a story here that says first commercial vessel arrives Lekki deep sea ports. Those are the news making waves this morning on this day newspaper. And we see a story here that says Tinubu will be Energizer Afenifere leader Ayo Adebanjo at 95. We say congratulations to him as well. And then we have a story here that says with 50 days to go, Buhari defends choice of service chiefs. North Cooker again insists clerics cooks only bad news. These are the issues with our politicians. When somebody tries to come and tell them the truth, they feel like so they don't want to hear the truth. That's why most of them are actually surrounded with people who hide the truth from them, because sometimes I don't blame the people in office sitting on that, the ones on that particular seat, because they don't tend to see everything happening. But the people around them should be able to say, this is what is going on and this is the way it should go. And then we have a story here that says INEC replies APP says electronic collation of result not mandatory. But they also forgot what they said during this process during the elections as regarding to the past elections. We're moving quickly this morning to the last newspaper we have with us, and this is the Punch Sports this morning. We have Europe that targets Mofe rules out golden boot, chase pros European football. That story is on the Punch Sports this morning. And we have another story here that says Chukwueze, La Liga's second most profiling player. That story is on page 6 of the Punch Sports this morning. We also have a story here that says Balogo eyes Arsenal exit. That story as well is on page 6 of the Punch Sports this morning. We also have a story here that says Chelsea gets Kante's boots for Madrid clash. That story is on page 3 of the Punch Sports this morning. We also have a story here that says Benzema rejects lucrative Saudi deal. That story is on page 2 of the Punch Sports this morning. We also have a story here that says Zalako sack Amunike and Madi. That story, of course, is on page 7 of the Punch Sports this morning as well. We have a story here that says Nigeria versus New Zealand. Falcons seek third straight win. That story is on page 7 of the Punch Sports this morning. We have a story here as well that says Senior in fifth race for Malian clash. That story is on page 6 of the Punch Sports as well this morning. Now these are some of the stories that are making waves on the sports on the sport paper this morning, and these are all we have on the review as well. Now, before we go, patient, I just want us to throw a little light on this issue of power supply. You know, I know a lot of people now were complaining that jobs. Let's not forget there is one headline now that says that 41% of the people will hit at 41% unemployment rates in this year. So, and you know, people a lot are doing, they're into petty trades here and there, and they need light, they need the power to run these businesses. Talking about someone into maybe salon, barber salon, a laundry person, a lot of these people. So I think the electricity, it's very, very important. It's very important. So I think the electricity company needs to do more. And the weather is not friendly as well. It's really not friendly. Seriously, last night I didn't sleep with lights. The weather is not friendly, but it's so nice. Let's not forget also the youth try and get something to do. But we know that in as much as you want to be get a white collar job, if it's not forthcoming, it's not forthcoming. You can't keep waiting. They say time is of essence, of course, and time is money. So we appeal to the youth as well to get something meaningful. Then start a trade, or whatever, just do something, start from somewhere, and then you keep your certificate. At the end of the day, you still bring it out. The good thing is that you already have that in the bag. It should definitely always be useful someday. But for now, get something to do, so that the pressure also, it's not too much on you and people around you. And then as well, we are appealing to people. We saw the crash at Ondo. I feel like I said that the day I will come on air and not with insecurity or auto crash news, I'm going to do a giveaway because this is becoming too much, and I think we need to really put it into consideration, mind the way we move around. If it's not necessary, just people cannot be forced to stay at home as well, patient. But what we're saying is that you that is driving, put your car in check, and make sure everything is make sure everything is okay. Check your car from time to time, and of course, drive carefully. You cannot be driving and drinking, being carried away. You will be people laughing, dancing, and before you know, something happened. Look at what happened yesterday again. Somebody's reckless driving. So we are appealing to drivers as well. So even you as a passenger, you that's just sitting in the car, if you notice, like the car vehicle entered this, the driver was actually on call. He was making call while he was driving. I was sitting next to him. I told him, "Oh, guy, if you know you want to make call, park, let me come down,
because I cannot sit and look at your call and you're driving. You're putting my own life at stake. He said he's a professional driver. Do I know how long he has been talk to them? Do I know how long? Yes, the one also that are dying. Don't forget also that some of them are professional drivers as well. Yes. So this is the reason we should all be very careful when it comes to driving. And while you're out there as well, stay safe, stay at alert. A lot of kidnappings we hear every day on the news. Go to if you don't have any business at night, like we had a security on your show the other day, the security expert says that if you don't have any business at night moving around, go to your house and stay. So please be at alert, stay safe while you're out there. And before we go, don't forget our Nigerian week in London that is very fast approaching. Get yourself a stand, book a ticket as well. Apart from the food, the music, the entertainment, the film and all that, we're going to have a lot of business opportunity. You don't want to miss that. Be part of it. Is going to be fun. We're going to the UK, of course, to showcase how beautiful we are as a people to the world. Of course, we know that Nigerians, we are colorful, so be part of it. Thank you so much for being part of the show today. We're going to do this again tomorrow. While you're out there, stay hydrated as well. Do have yourself a very beautiful day. My name is Princess KESSY.
And my name is Patience. Remember, peace is priceless.
So let's give peace a chance. See you tomorrow.
RTV London, in partnership with NTA TV Enterprise, present the maiden edition of the Nigerian Week in the capital of the world, London. A wonderful